Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. We are here for a treat. We are speaking with a national award winner, man who had been looking at my diction, trying to be a little better on the radio. According to Sprangalang, Allan Fortune is the man. Brother Mudada is here for a conversation with us at Kaiso House. Brother Mudada, thank you so much.
Yes, sir.
And it's really an honor to be able to have this sit down with you.
Well,
But it's one thing to get confirmation of the work that you're doing from the audience calling you back for encore. But how does it feel to say yes, you walk in your jacket and tie and you get this Hummingbird Silver?
oh yeah, well that was a great moment. That I think that I put out a lot of work, and I felt I appreciated that I gained the recognition and the appreciation. Well, I do appreciate the appreciation.
But in terms of appreciation,
Yeah.
talk to me about, and we're going right back, what inspired the name Brother Mudada? Because that sounds as though there's a heavy meaning behind it.
Yeah, well, it means it's a Swahili, from the Swahili dialect, one who provides, a provider. My younger brother, who is now deceased, recently passed away. He was, the year was 1975, and I was about to open a small, a little mini fish market. All right, micro, call it micro. And we don't know the bamboo top and thing and shed, But I wanted a trade name, and he had a book with the African names and the meaning, and he saw the meaning first. The one who provides. He said, well, since you're going to provide fish for the area, use this name, Mudada. It means provider. And I got it, so I wrote up in chalk on the board, Mudada Seafoods Depot. So that was about it's September 1975. But then I had no intention with the Calypso, But I was a deckhand at the Leprosarium. I was a sailor, and then they had removed me, acting deckhand. I spent a few years as a seaman, and then they transferred me to as a acting hospital attendant at St. Anne's Hospital. And it was 1975, so it was just after the 1970 consciousness, and so I was part of that. And with that, they terminated my service because I was a kind of rebel, for the lack of a better word. I was a revolutionary. I wouldn't use people's uniform and the bush jacket and the beret and selling NJAC papers, liberation in the mess room, and eating in calabash. And I don't think the institution wanted that sort of influence. But however, before that, I was young canary in the 60s as a youth. I was a teenager then. And then I stopped, I ended it and getting work down the island and so on. So when they terminated my service, I had my coxswain's license. And I was looking for employment with it and didn't get it. And I wrote this on my papers, no use. And I went to Kitchener's home. Well, the house isn't finished as yet. It was still under construction. Okay. I went to that's a long story.
And even like one the name and two brother.
Well, brother, because after 1970, that consciousness, the Lord Almighty.
Yeah, I'm going to say here a lot of people dropping the Lord Almighty.
So I used I think I was the first one that brought between Valentino and myself. It could be either Valentino or I, the first brother to the sobriquet.
Well, that's good company to be in.
Of course.
And when even like looking at the fact that you were too much of a rebel, you weren't conforming.
No,
and there's a way that people talk about history will show me in a different light, and I think it's doing that now.
Of course.
But you said that you used to work up the islands and stuff a little bit, but at the same time, I feel as though the Mecca do some things to you.
Well, the Mecca is just recently, man, 1987. I go way back from the 70s, man. Mecca is right there. As after I was already in as Brother Mudada, in and out the Virgin Islands, and hearing them bad talking in that pan. And as a result of that, I wrote the Mecca. You know.
And
But I can tell you something. How I describe the pan in the Mecca, it's not like that anymore. You know, as a matter of fact, there's a steel orchestra and comprised of young people in St. Thomas, rising stars. They are being sponsored by the territorial court. And you know, this is lots of a campaign out there too. So you tell me, the court locking me up in Trinidad for pan, and the court sponsoring pan up here.
And it's really interesting now in terms of like a profit and the levels of respect and hopefully what we're seeing now is changing, because I even saw somebody talking about the fact that it feels as though one of the things that really carrying the soul of the carnival this year is the pan, and is, to me, it's such a beautiful thing seeing schools and scores of children in schools playing pan, and children being supported by the parents, their guardians, which is very different from times
It's a
gone.
national instrument. As a matter of fact, I have a little grandson there. He's about 10 now. Terry Lyon's little boy, that's my grandson. You know?
Okay, so that's
and he's
that's Couva Joylanders.
yes, Cuba Joylanders.
Yes.
Oh,
And they actually place first in the judging.
I think the medium band. Correct. Yeah.
But looking at, I want to ask about your diction,
Yeah.
because I think your diction is at a level that people might want to aspire to. When I think of you, I think of Samuel Abrahams as well.
Christo.
And every single
Bummer.
word. You have no throwaway words.
Yeah, no.
Because everybody hearing everything.
I'm calling their names, Christo, Bummer, Cypher. When you call his name, you're hearing everything. Because I'll tell you, I always tell people, the R&B songs, you can sing without even looking at the audience. And I love her, that, and she goes, Calypso is conversation. You have to converse. And if it's conversation, well, then you have to be understood clearly.
You can't be like, okay, well, I think this is this, so I'll answer that. But even like and you said radio broadcasting is coming from a true experience.
Yes, I am. As a result of Superior's advice, when he was about to open his radio station, he heard me reading in St. Thomas aloud. You know, I was saying that at his home, as I said, he used to campaign in St. Thomas, and he said, "Well, Allan, you could read fairly all right." I was on my way to New York. You see, when you go up to New York, you must go and take a crash course in radio broadcasting. So when I opened the station, they can't say because he was my friend, I put you there. And I took the advice, and I enrolled in a Queen Broadcasting Center in Queens. Holly Thomas, this is Holly Thomas, and Rennie Bishop passed through that school. As a matter of fact, the tutor told me that.
Okay. And that makes me want to ask about your writing style, because there are certain things it feels as though, well, even before I go to that, let me ask about your writing style. When you decide to write something, what are some of the things that you're trying to cover, especially since you say that it's a conversation?
Well, you're writing, as a matter of, well, I write with melody and lyrics and melody together, right? But as a child, I was always good in composition. As a matter of fact, the teacher used to use my composition as an example when he gave the class composition.
So it's a long time people using and saying, okay, well, this is a benchmark.
Yes, definitely. So I always like writing. I always, so when I get a topic, as a matter of fact, I don't look for topic. Like, it seemed like topic looked for me. Yeah, and I say, oh yeah.
But if topic looking for you, so you have plenty topic, how you decide that one?
Yeah,
you
because
write about.
You absorb quite a few, and then you strain it. You senses it. You senses the whole thing, you know.
All right,
But
so
you don't write one song. You write a few songs, or you start to write a few.
So almost like it falls by the wayside a little
yes,
bit.
and the ups. But your intuition talks to you. Your intuition. Because it's a spiritual thing, you know. I have a song there entitled "Ever Living Calypso." I say Calypso is music, and music is spirit. It touches you, you know.
And I want to take the break here because I don't want to rush you in this answer, but I want to ask the question. Calypso is spirit, Calypso is music, Calypso is intuition. How do you marry that with saying, okay, well, this is one of the things that I'm using to earn, but don't answer now. You'll answer after we take the break. Stay with us. We're speaking with Brother Mudada. We come back after this. We are speaking with Brother Mudada, Allan Fortune, National Award recipient. And just before we took the break, we were asking, how do you pay respect to the fact that there's this level of intuition, there's this level of spirit energy that goes into Calypso, the music of Calypso, the message of Calypso, the conversation as he described, but also saying, or do you even do that? Like the audience might like if I sing about this versus the audience might like if I sing about that.
Well, in that respect, you have to relax and be guided. I'm going to say something here now, whether the audience like it or not. Once you be guided by your intuition, that's it. You feel safe there. You're very safe there.
Nice. And I want
It won't set you wrong.
Okay.
No.
And that brings me to there's songs like Hit Record. And sometimes it feels as though your writing style is, well, I singing what them say. So the radio instructors tell me that you have to do it like this. Or the woman tell you, if you want to make a hit record, you have to sing for the Lord. But it feels as though this year, you're saying, here what I say in this. It's not somebody else, I ain't recording what anybody else say.
Yeah, well, sing for the Lord if you want to make a hit record. A lady really met me on 23rd Street a day and told me, Brother Mudada, you have a nice voice. Maybe you should be singing for the Lord. And I don't know why she want to take me out of Calypso.
So you have Calypso for the Lord too. And then it's everybody that people reach for.
So I wrote about it and that was it. But I remember when I came I was in Kitchener 10, that was 1983, and Jazzy Pantin, the manager of the 10 Delayed Jazzy Band. But how you going to sing that? You only had a way of speaking. How you going to sing that in a Calypso 10? Make it worse, the first night I sing it, a lady, well, and everybody, you got to sing chord, a lady fell down in the audience.
And she gets slain in the spirit?
Boy, I don't know, that make it worse with the manager. Same thing I'm telling you.
Once
and
again.
on top of that, when they selected me for the semi-final in San Fernando, and a lady fell down in Skinner Park, when everybody, you know.
Once again, that goes to the energy and intuition that you're speaking about. And that conversation, being able to move and speak with spirit.
Yeah.
But and you were talking about some of the experiences, like, and so Panta and Kitchener, yourself and Superior.
Yeah.
What are some of those memories that you hold dear during through this journey of Calypso?
There's so many, boy. Time wouldn't allow us. Time would not allow us, boy. I tell you, people always tell me, but Mudada, why you write a book? You know, because first and foremost, I like speaking with my elders in the business. I like touching base with them. You know, when I did Mecca, and I recorded it in Charlie's studio in Brooklyn, Sparrow said, when he heard the lyrics, he said, how do you expect to get work? Yeah. He tell me that. Kitchener told me, a day I saw him with his plane tickets. I said, Robert, you're going up to St. Thomas. It was about time for St. Thomas Carnival. He said, yeah, boy, you can go.
After you say who song like Sadie,
Yes.
you can. I don't.
Yes. And Charlie, the producer, Rostant Charles, he was advising me to change the lyrics around and things. But you know, again, I was guided by the Spirit.
And that brings me back. So, in terms of speaking of your experience and saying this is someone's position, it feels as though this year you're saying this is my position.
Yes. Yes.
So talk to me about
Well, because
your offering this
earlier
year.
in the year, leave with children out of it. Earlier in the year last year, the book was sent down to Trinidad, entitled, I can't remember the title of the book, but the book is about children, showing children how to be gay, right? And there's a few books on the topic, because even in the video we did, there's a voice saying who decide what is normal and what is not normal, and that was taken from a video of a pastor, a U.S. pastor, addressing a school board meeting somewhere in the United States, and he was speaking. The topic was about that book that they're showing children how to be gay. So I did say, I'm not taking away nobody's rights. It's their right if they see it fit to be it. If they want to be it, so be it. But leave our children out of the it.
And that, to me, shows the craft of Calypso in terms of you up on stage addressing an issue, and it allows people in the audience to rock back and look at it from a position that they may not have. And it's very, to me, it's very respectful.
It better
So
be, because
I respect your position.
yes, because
But
I respect your position. Yes, you're right. But all I'm saying is, leave the children out of it. You can be what you want to be. We're all we're adults, you know.
And what has feedback been like thus far
With the song?
in the song?
Well, the producer in Brooklyn, Jamal from Hometown Studios, up to today, he tell me I crossed 11,000 views in 2 weeks. The video. In 2 weeks' time, going up to 12,000 views, which is, I think that is excellent, because as he told me, there are some videos out there for years and it didn't reach.
It's almost as though kind of like follow. And that also speaks to the fact that you find new Calypsos coming out so regularly. It's not as though somebody will put out an album or put out a record and just kind of sit on that, but always looking at new material, always kind of staying current.
Of course.
Which is the role of the Calypso.
Yes,
as well.
I always try to stay relevant with the. Well, as a matter of fact, from my first song right up, you know, Papers No Use, I couldn't get a job with my papers. Plus, I know some friend of mine who was working at on the grounds of St. Anne's Hospital, sweeping 7 passes, 8, 9 passes, and I wrote from that experience. The next one was 1978 Morning Juve, how the Juve was. Then 1978, because of 1977, the reaction of the people in the North Stand. In 1977, I wrote the North Stand for 1978. Because Kitchener told us, he was backstage, and he said, when the people start to boo, not him, but when the people start booing the show, he said, boy, they booing anything. It was ridiculous. As the MC called a Calypsonian name, they ain't boo the man or the song, and as he called his name, they start to boo. That was how the North Stand was.
Great.
And then Skinner Park wasn't easy.
Well, Skinner, and what's interesting to me is that last year for Calypso Fiesta, I don't know if it's the fact that the place a little fancier,
Yeah.
but the energy feels a little different in Skinner Park.
I think it could be the environment. Yeah, it could have
So
been-
we need to behave a little
it
more.
could have been in the
Yes, yes,
environment.
yes. But singing about ever living Calypso, and you spoke about it a little earlier. Calypso is living. From then to now, what are some of the things that you see? Are there changes? Are there things that go in different directions?
Well,
What's your take on Calypso now?
The direction is that The soca, which is soul calypso, you know, although somebody say, the artist tells me, you're singing, this is what I heard, from the people itself. Say, you're singing calypso? No, I sing in soca. Poor things. They don't understand that soca is soul calypso. It is not the traditional calypso, it is soul calypso. Or if you want to say the soul of calypso, you know? So the direction it's going is the fets. The fets with the soca. But my argument is that the both aspect of the performing arts can coexist. You know, one don't have to die for one to live. The both can. We the same in the business. The soca is for the body, and the traditional calypso is for the mind and body.
And with that, we want to thank you very much, Brother Mudada. Like I said, we got time. There's always time to talk about something else.
We're going to talk. We're going to stay here whole day without.
But we're grateful for these bite-sized chunks that we could go and meditate on a little bit, and then we listen to something else and say, oh yes, it's really true, and possibly go back and listen to one of the songs that you would have done. And so, okay, that's what he meant when he said that. But we really want to thank you for the time.
Good, man.
And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, we want to thank you for tuning in. This has been In Depth with me, Dike Rostant. Thank you so much for joining us.